Hey guys, what's up? If you guys are new here, my name is Alison. If you guys are into fashion, beauty, lifestyle, foundation review, and hauls video, don't forget to click the subscribe button down below and also click the wimper button so you get a notification whenever I upload a new video on my channel. So for today's video, we're going back to another foundation review. So today we are doing this new formulate NYX Professional Makeup Total Control Pro foundation. If you guys are interested to see how it works on my acne prone skin and oily skin, then let's keep on watching. Okay, before we start on this foundation, I will prime my face with this Sisley primer and also Becca under eye brightener to cancel the dark circle underneath my eye. And then I'm gonna go with my concealer from Giorgio Armani. This is in 3.5 shade. I usually go in my under eye concealer first and I work out with the foundation just to let the concealer marinate on my under eye, give a little bit more coverage. Okay, before we get started, let's go into this foundation bottle. And as you guys can see, the foundation is in the glass finish bottle and in the drop application. So this is what it looks like with the packaging. Okay, so I want to quickly share with you guys what it looks like with their first launch of the foundation. I still have it and I haven't used it as much because I do a lot of foundation review and I have a lot of foundation in my collection. So this is what it looks like with the NYX Total Control in total. So I feel like it's easier to identify the new version and the old version. So this is the old version, comes in this frosted glass finish. So for today's foundation application, I'll be using two different methods. And first of all, I'm gonna go in with my brush application on this side of my face, which I have a lot more acne going on, and on this side of my face I'm gonna go with a sponge. So as you guys can see, I have a lot more acne going on and I think I've used expired skincare, or it's just I haven't been sleeping, go to bed early, so that is why my hormones and my skin is reacting. I'm trying to control this situation, so I'm gonna cut out what I'm using with the skincare that is expired. That we're still going strong. I want to try out this foundation for you because they claim to be a new formula. I'll talk about that later. So the foundation, this is what it looks like with the drop application. So I'm just gonna take a very little and start it on this side of my face. Okay, now I'm gonna blend it out with a brush. The coverage is pretty high. I think I already put way too much, so I'm gonna move it to the other side. Alright, it does look like this foundation, it gives me a lot more coverage than I expect, so I'm gonna move a little of the foundation on to the other side of my face. So I'm gonna go in with a sponge instead. Okay, while we are blending this foundation, let's talk about what this foundation claims to be. So I did purchase mine at Ulta and NYX has it online as well. It retails for $14, same as Ulta website. And this foundation, what I like about this, it comes in 30 shade range, which is not bad as a drugstore foundation. So what it claims to be with this foundation is a skin true beautiful coverage. This is a lightweight formula, gives skin a natural, healthy looking finish while minimizing the appearance of imperfection and keeping the skin looking hydrated and looking 100% your skin. It's a clean formula that is proudly 100% vegan, cruelty free, and certified by PETA. So you can pick your coverage from sheer coverage to medium coverage or a full coverage using a precise and easy to use pro dropper. This foundation, it will stay true and last up to 12 hours with no transfer, no ashiness, no cakeiness, and no greasiness. Alright, so this is what it looks like on the coverage. And first of all, I do have to say, it does oxidize. I was pretty shook when I see this foundation. It looks kind of like too pale and a little ashiness on my face. So I was really surprised and I was thinking, should I go back and return it and get a right shade? But now I have let it sit on my face for about 3 minutes and this is what it looks like. So on the back of my hand, you guys see this is a fresh new drop of the foundation. The color is a lot more pale. So as you guys can see, this color is settled for about 3 minutes and it kind of oxidized to more of my skin tone color. And on the other side, which is a fresh new foundation drop, it looks more yellowish. So I have to say, this foundation, it does oxidize. And for the coverage, I would say it gives me a very nice coverage. I was pretty surprised because I wasn't expecting it to be this much coverage, and especially using a brush like this, it gives me a lot more coverage on this side of my face. You guys can see the before. I do have a lot of acne on this side and redness, and now it's all covered underneath this foundation. So with this foundation, definitely it gives you a very nice medium coverage. And if you guys want a lot more coverage, I recommend using a brush like this to apply onto your face. But using a sponge is not as bad as well. I feel like using a sponge, it gives me a lot more natural finish, and I prefer using a brush and then go over with a sponge, so that way it gives a more natural finish and it blends everything into the skin. And as far as blendability, it blends very easily, but you do have to work quickly before they dry down and sink into your skin. So this is a foundation you do have to work quick with the blending on the face. And I want to give you guys a quick disclaimer. I do get dryness and dry skin on my chin area these days because I've been exfoliating, and also just because I do have a lot of acne going on. So this is the area that you guys can skip, but you guys can see how it works throughout the day. Okay, now I'm gonna finish up the rest of my makeup, and we're gonna see if this foundation oxidizes a little bit more when we putting the whole face makeup on. So I'm gonna check back in with you guys with a full face makeup. My skin has been a little tricky on my chin area, so you guys can ignore this area and focus on what is on top of my mouth area. So on this foundation, when I apply my blush and the contour, I don't have any issue of layering on top of this foundation. It blends very nicely. And this foundation, the only downside is the shade range. It is a little tricky. So I do like the packaging. It comes in this bottle finish, so you guys can see it clearly on what the color looks like on the bottle. But I would say the color on the bottle is a little bit darker than what I expect on the face. So I feel like with the color on the bottle, you guys can see it's a little bit tanner than what it looks like on the face. So it's a little tricky. So if you happen to go to Ulta store, you guys should get something that is a little bit darker than your skin tone than what it looks like on the bottle. So I feel like with the shade range, it's still a little tricky about that because it does definitely oxidize. And other than that, I would say it looks a little bit dry and it hence like fine lines on the face. So if you guys have dry skin, I don't think this will be a foundation for you. And if you do want to try it out, you might have to put on a very nice layer of moisturizer underneath this foundation, because I don't have an issue with my other foundation when I apply it around my nose area, and it does show a little texture and it kind of enhanced some fine lines here and there. But again, I also set it with my Kylie Jenner loose setting powder. That's usually what I do with a foundation review because I do have oily skin. So I'll check back in with you guys at the end of the day and see how this foundation react on my skin and give you guys my final thoughts on this foundation and how I rate this foundation. So I'll see you guys in the next clip. Okay, so this is a final check-in on this foundation. So this is what it looks like for wearing about 6 hours mark. And usually I do wear foundation test for about 8 hours, but today within this 6 hours mark, I just feel like I already know my thoughts, so I'm just gonna go to bed early today. So this is what it looks like on the face. So first off, I do have oily skin and texture acne prone skin, so I can see it kind of develops some natural oil on my forehead and between my brows area, usually where I start to get oily, and then usually after that it would just get oily on my T-zone, my nose, my chin area. But in this case, my chin is pretty dry these days, and today it was pretty windy outside, so it wasn't as hot, and I was out the door and pick up something and it was pretty windy outdoors, so I don't get as oily as I used to. And in fact, I can see some dry texture around my nose area, but then you guys can see my chin area, everything looks good. And it kind of developed a little natural oil, and same as forehead, but my nose area, it kind of shows all the texture area. And I did blow my nose once because it was really windy outside and it just triggered my allergies. So you guys can see the foundation, it was take off easily around my nose area, and also it just enhanced the texture on the nose. And you guys can see I just pinched my nose very lightly, and you guys can see it take off easily with the foundation. But other than that, I would say this foundation, I don't think it's for someone who has dry skin, and even though I don't have dry skin, it just enhances some texture. And also with this foundation, I feel like it just enhances some fine lines. So if you guys do have those area to concern, I don't think this foundation is for you. But as far as the texture of the foundation, it's pretty lightweight, but it's not lightweight as something that I can feel on my face at all, but I can definitely feel there's foundation on the face, and also it's kind of look heavy makeup in a way, just because it doesn't sink into your skin. It just kind of sit on top and enhance your texture, and also it doesn't look what it looks like on the bottle of the foundation compared to what it applies on my face with the foundation. So that is something that you guys might have to pay attention to when you look into the foundation. So the bottle, it looks a little darker than what it looks like on the skin. Just a heads up for you guys. So overall, I just feel like this foundation is not for me, even though I do have oily skin, and it just enhances those texture and dry area. But I'm really happy to see the claims on it is a no sulfates, no preservatives, no mineral oils. So those are those things that I really like on what it claims the foundation to be. I do think I break out from mineral oil, so I'll try to stay away from that ingredients on a lot of foundation. Okay, now we're gonna test out with the no transfer part. I have a kitchen towel here. I'm just gonna lightly dab it on my forehead, which I get the most oiliest part. It is 100% no transfer. You guys can see there's some yellowish on the kitchen paper. I don't know, is it because my natural oil does affect that? And I'm just gonna try it on this side of my face. Okay, on this side of my face it's a little bit better, but I feel like my contour and my blush stick comes off. I'm just gonna put it on my chin area where I get the most dryness. And you guys can see I don't have any bronzer on my chin or blush, and this is what it looks like. It does have a little stain on this kitchen towel, so I do feel like a lot of the claims it doesn't apply to me personally, and I know a lot of different skin tone it works differently. It might work for me, but it might not work for you, and vice versa. And if you guys do watch my channel and watch my foundation review, you guys know I do have a very high standard on my concealer and foundation, just because I don't have this any-prone skin, texture skin to work with, so I need my base layer to look like skin, looks good, and stay put together for a long hours of time. But I think it's good to have a higher standard, because that's something that you make sure it works for you and it just stay put for the whole day. You don't have to worry about your foundation or concealer for the touch up, because I barely touch up throughout the day, so I need something that to look good on me. Alright, so that's it for today's video, and I hope this video does help you guys out to choose this foundation or not, and I hope you guys enjoy watching this video. Don't forget to give me a big thumbs up here to support me here, and also subscribe down below. And also, if you guys have tried this foundation, let me know in the comments down below to see how it reacts on your skin, or what kind of skin type do you have. And until then, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye! I depend on the way you send chills down my spine. Wanna give you